Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this COVID-19 vaccine information Q&A. My name is Ben Barber, and this is Deb Burton from RI Elder Info. Hey, Deb.
Hi, Ben. Good to be here today. Thank you all for joining us. We are very excited to welcome our capital city's mayor, Mayor Elorza, for Providence, Rhode Island.
It's great to be on here with you. Thank you, Ben, and thank you, Deb, for having me on, and thank you for keeping our senior community so well informed and making sure that we're getting vital information out to them.
Yes, it's absolutely imperative now. So, Mayor, if you would you please share with our viewers what is the procedure or protocol for the city of Providence for our folks who would like to get a vaccine?
Okay, so it's there are a lot of things that are very complicated in this, but the things that are simple is that if you have any questions or if you'd like to register for a vaccine and you are in the eligible population, so which is right now over 65, all you have to do is dial 311. That will connect you directly with my office, and we will help you either getting you on the waiting list or the notification list, or to get you into a specific date and appointment for your vaccine. So that's the simple part of it. I guess a little bit more complicated in that, right now, there are there are 3 distribution channels for the vaccine. And what I mean by that is that the state is running its own clinics. Private pharmacies like CVS, Walgreens, and community-based centers, they're running their own clinics. And then the city of Providence, just as almost every other city and town throughout the state, they're running their own clinics as well. And what's so challenging about it is that every single one of them has their own registration system. So people are in a position right now where sometimes they don't know who to call. Call here, call there, call some other place, waiting on hold, trying to get an appointment. So I know that it's very complicated. My recommendation to folks would be, if you live in Providence, know that you can call my office at 311, or you can visit our website at vaccinatepvd.com, and you can either register yourself or put yourself on the notification list. Or if you live in Providence, you can also reach out to the state or reach out to any of the private pharmacies wherever they are throughout the state. So there are a number of different options, but if you just want to keep it simple, please call us and we'll help you however we can.
That sounds very simple. And I'm glad to hear that people don't have to have a computer, because I know sometimes tech access can be a real barrier.
Yeah. And you don't have to speak English either. So if someone just feels more comfortable in Spanish, you could call us in Spanish.
That's wonderful. And so when people are calling to register, are they making the appointment right then and there, or are they being placed on a waiting list?
So it depends.
Okay.
So if you qualify, you are given an appointment right then and there. However, if say you're below 65, then what we do is we put you on a notification list. It's not necessarily a waiting list yet. It's a notification list. And you could tell us that you want to be notified by email, by text, or by phone call. And as soon as you do become eligible, we reach out to you directly. And at that point, you can either go online and register yourself for an appointment, or by phone, when we reach out to you, we'll take your information and set you down for an appointment at that point. So it really depends on whether you currently qualify for under the eligibility of the vaccine. But believe me when I tell you, we want to get as many vaccines in people's arms. So if you qualify, we'll do whatever we can to try to find you a slot.
That's awesome. And when it comes to the vaccine appointments, what should people bring with them? Do they need to bring proof that they are residents of the city or anything along those lines, insurance cards?
Well, right now we screen the registrations and the appointments pretty thoroughly. So online, if you put in that you don't live in Providence, well, we'll let you know beforehand that you can call some of the other clinics, but we can't vaccinate you under this one. Or if you are underage, we'll let you know beforehand. On the day of, all we're asking for folks is that you show up on the scheduled date. You can bring all of the information, such as your license or your identification. But as of right now, we don't require any of that information. When you come in, you tell us who you are, and we'll mark you off, and you'll get vaccinated. Now, we have had situations where there are people who have come and they seem a lot younger than they claim to be. So with those folks, we'll do additional, poking and to verify that they qualify and they're the right person. But for the most part, much of the pre-screening that we've done has addressed a lot of these challenges.
And so, Mayor, you bring up a really good point. If, say, for example, I want to take my elderly neighbor to go get her vaccine, I'm not in the eligible population. Can I get a vaccine too?
So, this is part of the confusion. Remember that there are 3 different distribution channels: the state, the private pharmacies, and the cities. And they all might have a slightly different policy with this. So I have heard of situations where, pharmacies that have smaller clinics, they've taken out the vaccine, the little bottle of vaccine, and if they don't use it right away, it'll go to waste. And so I've heard of them just calling people, pulling folks over and say, do you want one? We'll give it to you rather than let it go to waste. With the clinics that we run, they're so large that we haven't come across that problem. In fact, the issue that we've done is that instead of vials going to waste, oftentimes if the folks pulling the vaccine out of the bottle, if they do it right, we can squeeze 11 vaccines rather than 10. So there have been situations where we have some extras, and when we have extras, say we have 6 or 7 extras, if someone comes in and they're the caretaker for an elderly parent, situations like that, we try to accommodate them. But I can assure you that we do not allow a single vaccine go to waste, and every distribution channel has their own informal policies on how to prevent vaccines being wasted.
That's really good. But I just want to make clear to everybody who's watching, they shouldn't just go hang outside a vaccine site hoping that maybe there's something left over. We don't want them to do that, correct?
Absolutely not. Especially, we've had some really cold weather, and we don't want folks standing outside, especially seniors standing outside. Now, we have tried to accommodate some of the people that have come with an elderly parent, or if they're the caretaker for them. So under very specific circumstances, when we have like an extra dose, but please do not come to the sites. That's not healthy for anyone.
Yes.
Now I'm sorry, Deb. Is there any fee associated with getting a vaccine at all?
No, that's a great question, Ben. There is no fee whatsoever, and if anyone is asked to pay for it, then that you should be very, very wary and very skeptical. Please report it to us. But absolutely, we want to make this vaccine as broadly and widely available to everyone, and that means making sure that they have access to it at no cost.
And so, do these seniors need to arrive early? Is there a chance that you'll run out if they have an appointment?
So we ask you not to come too early, because at least the clinics that we run at the city level, they're so big. We have a number of people and doing the vaccinations. Come a little bit early so you can park, walk in, come in and register. All of that. But we also don't want people to come too early, and we could have a long backup in a long line. So that's fine. As long as you have an appointment for that day, please come at your slotted hour, maybe just a little bit earlier to make sure you get in on time, and that'll be fine. That may be a little bit different. So let's say if a CVS pharmacy has its own clinic, they may be advising their folks to get there early. I don't know. So listen to whatever the clinic asks you to do. But for the folks that are getting vaccinated at the city-run clinics, and that if you registered, either calling 311 or you're on our Vaccinate PVD site, with the city, there's no need to come. There's no need to come early. As long as you're there, when around the time that you have an appointment, we'll make sure that you get a vaccine.
And I'm being told no earlier than there's no reason to come earlier than 10 minutes early, and to prepare for a 15-minute observation time post vaccination is what
That's
I'm
right.
being told in the private chat by your staff.
Yeah, so it's a pretty simple process. You know, you walk in, you get your vaccine, and then we ask everyone to wait at least 15 minutes because we know that some people might have a reaction to it. Now, this is very, very, very rare, and I've been at several clinics already, and I haven't seen anyone get that kind of reaction during it. But it's important to wait those 15 minutes to make sure everything is okay. And then while you're sitting and waiting those 15 minutes, one of our volunteers goes to you and makes sure that you're registered for the second dose of the vaccine. And so we handle that all right there. And as you're on your way out, we have people checking everyone who's leaving just to make sure that they have all the information that they need for their next appointment. We want to make sure that it's just a one-stop shop. We handle it as conveniently and easy as possible for everyone involved.
And sir, are there individuals who speak other languages on site if people have questions and they would like the answers before they receive the vaccine?
Yes, that's been really important for us. So with the city-run sites, we have several people there that are able to translate into different languages. We do ask if you speak a language that is very, very uncommon, please do what you can. Perhaps you could bring a family member who can help translate. And we've been able to work through all of these challenges up until this point. But if you just can't find a translator, we have a number of people who can translate on site.
And something else that some folks have asked, if you are someone who is here and is undocumented, should there be any hesitation or reservations, would the fact that you are coming to this clinic be reported to any authorities, any ICE or anything like that?
That's a great question, Deb. And I've heard that same question from folks who have been concerned about it. And absolutely, I want to reassure everyone that this vaccine is available to everyone, regardless of your immigration status. Nowhere in the application process and nowhere when you show up will you be asked about your immigration status. So, we won't ask someone who looks a certain way. Somebody who looks like they might be from Canada, we're not going to ask them if they have their citizenship papers. And everyone should know that these are open to everyone regardless of your immigration status.
Okay. And the sites are mobility impaired accessible. So if somebody uses a walker or a wheelchair, they can get into the building okay?
Yes, that's right. So that's been very important. Make sure that we're ADA compliant. And our site is specifically right on a main bus line as well. So if folks don't have a car and need public transportation, so it's right on a bus line. And I know that many seniors, they have mobility challenges. And, that's something that we've been sorting through on a case-by-case basis. And for the most part, we've been working with senior centers and with different providers who have brought their own folks. They've found transportation for them to the sites. And so, we don't have like a roving bus that goes around picking and dropping people off. But we've been able to work through, all of the circumstances where people needed a ride on a case-by-case basis. So when you're talking to someone in my office, if that is an absolute requirement for you, please let them know, and we'll hustle. We'll find a way to overcome that challenge.
Yes, Mayor. And I also know that MTM, the Medicaid and Elderly Transportation System, is also working really hard to get people to the vaccine sites. And I think folks might not realize that. And I'll be happy to include that link in the chat box that will go out with this, so people will have that information as well. So if people need to sign up, let me just make sure they dial 311 or 421-2489. Or they can go to vaccinatepvd.com, right?
That's right.
So I have to say, I have an individual that I kind of look after. She's 89. English is not her first language, and reached out to your office to get her registered. And I cannot say how smooth and easy the process was. When we went to the vaccination site, there were literally people, directing the traffic in, showing you exactly the parking spot closest to the door, holding the door open so that we wouldn't have to touch the door handles. hand sanitize all along the way, check the COVID symptoms. It was such a smooth and easy process. It really, really was great.
Yeah, well, thank you for that feedback. I'll be sure to share that with the entire team. I tell you, folks have been working really, really hard. On top of all the other work and issues, stuff that we have going on in the city, I have staff members who are volunteering their time after hours and on weekends to operate these clinics. So I really appreciate those words. It goes a long way because they're working really hard, and I'm sure they'll appreciate that their work is being appreciated.
That's incredible. So just again, the contact info, and we have it as well in the chat, in the comments underneath. So you can just click the link for vaccinatepvd.com or find it there so you can take it with you wherever you are, and jot that down and send it to a neighbor or a loved one if they're the people that need it. Is there anything else, Deb, I want to be respectful of the mayor's time. Is there anything else that, any questions that you have, Mayor? Is there anything else that you'd like to add? Sue, backstage, is there anything else that we missed? Would you like to come on?
Well, it would be great if we could bring Sue on. And, one of, my parting shots that I wanted to, so Sue is known and beloved throughout the senior community. And what I would say is that, folks who know Sue, have her number, please contact Sue if there's any questions that you have. She will help troubleshoot and work through whatever challenges. But I want to bring Sue into this conversation because she's been doing a lot of this work. And is there anything else, Sue, that folks should know?
Actually, you've hit it all. The easiest is for them to call 311. We'll work through any problem that we can. And if we are not the right people, we're going to direct you to the right people. That's pretty much it. But it's really been going really smoothly, and it's a joy and a pleasure to be able to volunteer at those clinics. It's pure joy there. Everyone is happy.
And we did have one quick comment. Someone wanted us to verify, is it actually free, or is there a fee, some cost related to administering the shot?
It is free. Sue, do you want to speak to that?
Well, I know that some clinics, so they could be confusing. Some of the clinics, some of the pharmacies are requiring them to show their insurance card, but they are not getting a fee. Okay. So I don't know the details of each one, but yes, there are some pharmacies that are asking for that card, but they will not show a fee on their bill. They won't have to pay anything.
Okay, so in Providence, it is completely free for the residents of Providence. That's wonderful. Yeah. And Mayor, I don't know if you have time available to really quickly just reiterate some of the really important pieces in Spanish so that we can reach a greater number of members of our community, because Ben and I want to make sure that this information gets out to all Rhode Islanders.
Thank you so much, Deb, and I'm happy to send a message in Spanish as well. Para todos los oyentes que hablan español, lo más importante, si les interesa y son elegibles para tomarse la vacuna, es que llamen el número 311. Con esto se comunican directamente con mi oficina y los asistentes de la ciudad están ahí al tanto para responderle a cualquier pregunta que tenga y también para registrarlos si califica para una cita, y si no califica, lo ponemos en una lista de notificación para cuando ya califique, lo notificamos de inmediato. Nos puede llamar siempre al número 311 o también se puede registrar usted directamente visitando la página de web vaccinatepvd.com. Y acá estamos a la orden, que queremos que cada persona se vacune, y estamos acá a su servicio para hacerlo lo más fácil y conveniente posible.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Thank you, Sue. I know, Sue, you're a rock star. You and I sit in a lot of meetings together. This has been wonderful, and we really hope that folks get that vaccine.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you both. All right, dial 311, everybody. Thank you, and stay safe.